Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creature Club. I am your host, Mikey, and with me, as usual, is my other host, the Tim.
Hello.
Whoa, that was very up close and personal. Yeah, on this show, we like to talk about the monsters in Dungeons and Dragons, and kind of talk about the history behind them and how we'd use them in our own games, in combat, or just in our campaigns in general. And today we are going to continue on with our long mission of doing devils.
The Devil Omnibus.
Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely an omnibus. That's always been a strange word to me. Omnibus.
Yeah, it's a weird one, all right. We will talk about the Horned Devil.
Yes, it's the Horned Devil today. And Tim, what does this guy look like for the people at home?
Well, his image is very much the kind of classical devil boy. He has these enormous great horns. He has the cloven toes, although he doesn't have hoofs in this one. He has the pointed tail, and he has the leathery wings of a bat.
Yep.
He also typically has a trident, apparently.
But this guy seems to have the one in the 5th edition seems to have a bident of some sort.
Bident.
At 2 times on that fork.
He has a presidential candidate, Joe Biden.
Nice one.
Nice. Thanks. But yeah, so for the history on this guy, I just decided to dive into the kind of typical depiction of Satan or the devil, as this guy is basically the most archetypal devil that we can come across. And so his typical depiction comes from a pretty broad spectrum of things. The horns, the cloven hooves, the pointy tail, the red skin, the bat wings, and the pitchfork are the parts that I kind of leaned into because they're kind of the most iconic. He doesn't have the cloven hoofs, but I decided to go all in on the devil boy anyway.
Okay.
So the horns were kind of based on a quote from Revelations, or the Apocalypse of St. John, chapter 13, verse 11, where he says, "Then I saw another beast which rose out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon." And there are other references to his horns just kind of all over the place within Greek stuff. Well, I suppose I'll just kind of go through what I had written down and we'll refer back to it.
Just read it verbatim.
Sure. So with his cloven hoofs, he is kind of a reference to the Greek god Pan, who was the god of the wild, shepherds and flocks, nature of mountain wilds, rustic music and impromptus, and companion of the nymphs, which is quite a title, you know? Those Greek gods, you know, took their stuff very seriously, but they kind of dispersed jobs to a couple of different people, which I thought was kind of fun.
They had to lay off a couple people one year, and everyone had to kind of double job in the office that year, I think.
And the Christians apparently saw him and his form as particularly grotesque, as well as his kind of like what he did. Like, he was supposedly quite lustful and mischievous and
gross.
And he had horns, so he
has horns.
He was consistent with some of the ideas that they were coming up with already.
Icky.
The pointy tail is kind of less of a consistent one, like the kind of slightly arrow-shaped pointed tail. There's no actual descriptions in medieval or written history of specifically the devils having the pointed tail. That's just been kind of a modern turn on that. But the biblical quote that I found was that a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head 7 diadems. His tail swept down 1/3 of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth, which was, you know, a reference to his tail that I found because I couldn't find anything specific else in the old Bible in there. So there wasn't a huge amount of description, but he has a tail.
Okay.
But the tail of the arrow-shaped pointed tail was also of the satyrs, which were very similar to our Pan boy. They were the horned. Their bottom halves were that of a goat. They had the cloven hoofs, and they had their big pointy tails. The red skin of the devil is a little bit more modern. Apart from the description in Revelations of him being like a specifically red dragon, they're mostly depicted as being like a charcoal black, or just kind of referenced in some of the descriptions I saw. They were described as just like darkness.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that I read up on said that red had been decided on because it was more about blood and violence and passion, which were supposedly kind of unchristian things. And it was also in line with the dragon imagery from Revelations, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of consistency kind of being pulled out from a couple different points. The next little bit, the bat wings, are less consistent than a lot of the other kind of points before this, but they are, definitely seen around the place. In medieval times, they were used as like a contrast to the feathered wings of angels. The devils had the devil and the fallen angels had bat's wings. Specifically in Dante Alighieri's Inferno, which is part of the ancient epic poem, The Divine Comedy, which is about Dante being guided through hell by Virgil, which is a whole thing. He sits in the center of hell and is described as having these enormous bat's wings. And then in the 17th century, in John Milton's Paradise Lost, which is about the fall of man, it has the same features, basically, the red skin and the big bat wings. So while they aren't as consistent as some of the other things, they are definitely an iconic image that has been used for them in reference to the red dragon, but also specifically to the devil's shape. The pitchfork was kind of introduced as a view of the Christians' view of certain gods, from what I had read up. They saw Hinduism's Shiva the Destroyer, who carried a trident or a pitchfork kind of thing, as well as Romans Neptune and the Greeks Poseidon, who all carried this iconic thing. They just were like, hey, that looks like a pretty gruesome little weapon. Let's throw it at our boy and see if it sticks. Lol.
Real quick, on the picture of the guy in the 5th edition book, he's giving the devil horns.
Oh, he is.
But it's just like that rock devil horns typical thing, but he's pointing down with it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. But
also that hand gesture is also I love you in in sign language.
Wow.
Although usually it's like palm out towards the person that you're saying it to, so maybe he's saying it to the people behind him. He's like subtly, like whoever was with him in the photo shoot behind him, he was like, I love you to whoever was behind him.
Real quick.
Because he's a sweet guy, in all honesty. And
that's what you're saying when you're at a metal concert. Kind of saying I love you to
the
whatever band's playing. You're watching Iron Maiden and you're just like doing the devil horns. You're just saying I love you.
Hey,
I love you, Bruce Dickinson.
Hey, Bruce Dickinson. Hey, lead singer of Iron Maiden. I love you. That's exactly what happens at all metal shows, because all metalheads are really just lovely people.
Exactly, yeah. But that is very interesting, Tim. That's very cool. Yeah, we went with the Horn Devil to say that because he looks like that kind of typical devil with the horns and the bident and the
wangs.
And the wangs. What? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I've become a little bit more American while I'm over here. I meant wings, not his wang.
Okay, wings.
I actually said that in a bar once when we were ordering food, and I accidentally said wangs, just off the top of my head.
Wangs.
It was a good time. Anyway.
Sounds good. I haven't lost my accent, Tim, so...
You haven't?
I haven't, because I always sound a little bit like American, so it's...
yeah, I have too. I mean, I never noticed it on you because I just knew you as having the accent that you have. I've never been very good at, like, placing people's accents when I know that they are from a specific place. Like, if I first meet a person and I hear their accent, I'm like, oh, you're not from around here.
Well, but also with me, because I don't talk a lot, they assume I'm from around here, and then when they hear me say like stuff, then they're like, oh, like he's not from here then, or water, or I don't know, a lot of stuff. They kind of like they pick small words, but when I say a couple things, then that's fine.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think one of the most Irish sounding things that an Irish person can say is Ireland. Like, only an Irish person says Ireland. Like,
the amount of times I told people where I'm from and I said Ireland, and they're just like, what?
Ireland. What's Ireland?
You from Ireland, Texas? Like, what? It's and I'm like, they honestly think I'm saying that. And then because I remember one guy actually at work, and then he's eventually asked me, just like, hey, where are you from? Are you from here, Mike? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Ireland. I'm like, Ireland? Ireland, Texas? Like, no, Ireland, the country. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm a bit dumb. Where is that? And like, it's the place in Europe next to England where Irish people are from. And he's like, okay, cool. And then a second later, he's like, oh, Ireland.
Ireland. The land of Ire.
So every time someone asks me where I'm from, I have to say Ireland. And it's very hard.
Yeah. The land of winter's ire, which is super cool. I love it. Hibernia.
Cool.
Very proud of that. But do we know anything about the Horned Devil's history within D&D? I'm looking on the Forgotten Realms fandom, and he has a picture from first edition or from AD&D, and seems to be around just about as long as all of the original demons were. Or demons and devils. Oh shit!
He showed up probably in the beginning.
He's the Cornugon.
Yeah, there's no, he's just another devil. He's just another devil. But we can. Shall we read what's on this? I can read it this time.
Yeah, go for it.
Horned devils are lazy to the point of belligerence and are reluctant to put themselves in harm's way. Moreover, they hate and fear any creature stronger than themselves. When they are sufficiently provoked or antagonized, the fury of these fiends can be terrifying. The Malebranche. Malebranche. That's the devil name it's given on this one. There's the Cornugon and the Malebranche. We'll call it the Malebranche.
The Malebranche.
Malebranche. I'm going to call it the Malebranche because that's it sounds very bougie. The Malebranche stands as tall as an ogre and is sheathed in scales as tough as iron. The flying infantry of hellish legions, horned devils follow orders to the letter. Their huge wings and sweeping horns create an intimidating presence as they drop from the sky and strike with deadly fork and lashing tails. With deadly forks. I said deadly fork.
Yeah.
That's me from like my dinner's point of view every night, man.
Perfect. Oh, you have deadly fork. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's deadly.
Oh, is that the new model Mark II? Let me see it. Oh, it has the grip and
I got the pre-order for the 2020 Deadly Forks.
Yeah, you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 3, have you?
No, I haven't.
There's a scene where at the start Ava gives Big Boss, Naked Snake, a gun, and then he gets so excited. He's like, and then he kind of like starts to just sniff it and just like look at it. I was picturing that scene, but with a fork now. Look at the new fork, the new model with a new grip there, so you can use it. Whatever.
Perfect.
Anyway, yes. So these guys are flying infantry. They follow orders as like a lot of devils because they're lawful evil. Mm-hmm. And these are the guys that you have flying and hitting. It's not the most interesting in terms of flavor. Yeah. He's just a flying dude who follows orders, doesn't like stronger stuff than them.
Yeah, but they're also lazy, which is kind of pointless to bring about unless you're trying to like build a character for. Like, if somebody read that and was like, okay, how should I make my Horned Devil act if he's met off the battlefield?
Yeah.
Then you just be like, all right, yeah, he's just kind of a dickhead douchebag who just kind of lazes around doing nothing most of the time.
But he follows orders to the T.
To the T, yeah.
Yeah.
But only because if he doesn't, he'll probably get in trouble. So he'll, like, not take any steps further, which I think could be cool. Yeah. Like, if his mission is, like, hunt down this creature, he'll maybe kill the creature, but maybe he won't bring it back with him because he wasn't told to bring it back. He was just told to kill it. Yeah,
he would do. He says he follows orders to the letter. So if he's told to do one thing, he won't like. He's like, take back the magic stone from those heroes, and then he would go take back the stone, and he might not kill you because he's like, I'm bored, and then he flies away. Or like, kill that wizard, and then he only kills the wizard, and he leaves the rest of you there. You know, that's kind of the guy he would be like, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like the classic genie thing, where like you have to be very specific, telling the genie what you want to wish for, because what they do is they just kind of fucks with you. But he only takes orders from the archfiends or like the big bads. Because he's the next one of our greater demons. So yeah,
is he a great demon?
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy.
Devil,
you know, get to know
devil.
Him.
He's a great devil. We're back.
Oh no,
we're back.
There's going to be so many sound effects underneath that.
Boop 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 boop. I think at one point we're just gonna break the demon counting machine.
Yeah, I considered just making like a demon summon if we said it a certain amount of times in an episode.
Yeah. Roar. Let me just do the Foley for that, the voice acting for right now.
Sure.
You can add some.
Boots.
You can add some effects onto that if you so
Oh,
wish.
definitely.
I have been summoned because you called my soul. Demons were actually devils. Get it fucking right. Come on, guys, read a book. Yeah, Jesus, you're reading straight from a book. You know it's devils. There's an obvious difference, guys. Come on.
I love that he would also be like, that is definitely a devil way to be, because they're all about working to the letter, and you're like,
You're saying it wrong.
you'd be the most annoying boss. Ah, shit. They're all grammar Nazis, and you misspeak, and they're just...
You're fighting it. You're just we found you, you dastardly demon.
Actually, guys, really, come on, I'm not a demon. You keep saying this, but I'm actually a devil, alright? This is embarrassing. I'm sorry. Could you call me a devil? You've said demon like 5 times already, and it's really getting to me, so, if you want this to be a fair fight, I'm willing to be a reasonable devil here, whereas you guys are just treating me like shit.
Yeah, he just starts having a little dialogue.
Yeah.
With the party.
How would I like if I called you a demon? Because you're not a demon. I'm not a demon.
Yeah, there's 2 of them now.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, there's just what are the other guys? Like a chain devil just nodding along, shaking his chains, and you just hear...
Yeah, you just hear a clanking of chains as he nods along. That sounds like Christmas when you do it that way.
But that's not what the devil is all about.
Nah, it's not.
Shall we move on to Dinner Town?
I guess it's time. Have we padded enough time out? Yeah, we have. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go. Let's move on to some meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. Horned devil, large fiend, devil, lawful, evil, which is in the word devil, so you know it's true. Armor class.
I've never noticed that.
I think I learned that when I saw the Devil Within was a movie that was advertised, and they had evil in red letters in the word devil, and I was like, ah.
Oh, clever. Very clever.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well done. Armor class 18. Natural armor. Hit points 178. 17d10 plus 85 hit points. Speed 20 foot and a fly speed of 60 foot. Strength is 22. Dexterity is 17. Constitution is 21. Intelligence is 12. Wisdom 16 and Charisma 17.
Pretty solid stat block for a for a big bad.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a couple stats that are above what you could typically roll, so that's enticing and makes him a little more powerful. You wouldn't want to arm wrestle this guy with a strength 22.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't, unless he just rolls really badly, because arm wrestling is kind of weird when it comes to D&D, where you can just contest rolls, and a guy with 5 strength could still possibly win against a guy with 22 strength in an arm wrestle.
It's very anime, the weakling goes up against the football player, and he gets distracted or underestimates him, and then he just floors him or flips him over. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Saving throws: strength plus 10, dexterity plus 7, wisdom plus 7, and charisma plus 7. So plus 7s all around. Dang.
Yeah.
Damage resistances: cold, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks not made with silvered weapons. Damage immunities: fire and poison. Condition immunities: poisoned.
So pretty standard affair to the devils so far.
Yep, it's just about all right. Senses: dark vision 120 feet, passive perception of 13, languages infernal and telepathy 120 feet. Challenge rating 11, or 7,200 experience points to put in your bank.
Yeah, to put in your experience bank. So yeah, this guy's actually so far he's a tougher boy than I thought he would be, because he's a pretty he's one of the greater devils, as you said. I think. Is he? Is he classed as
Yeah,
one of
he
them?
is. He's a greater
Okay.
devil. Shit.
Demo. Yep.
He's a greater devil.
Devil.
Oh boy.
He's
Oh, jeez.
great. He's a great devil.
Oh, he's a silly little devil. Man,
Yeah,
this is the worst episode of Creature Club ever.
Me and Tim decided to like just down a bottle of whiskey each, I guess, before this episode.
I don't
No,
remember it, but that's part of downing a bottle of whiskey.
It's like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm having a cup of coffee. It's not whiskey time yet.
I'm drinking vitamin water, not sponsored.
Vitamin water. That's a lot of sugar in that, man. Come on.
No, it's vitamin water zero, so there's zero sugar in it. Haha, checkmate.
It's just water and vitamin.
Yeah, it smells like lemonade.
So he has some feats and abilities.
I don't believe you.
Well, he does. Let me tell you what it is. Devil's Sight. Magical darkness doesn't impede the devil's dark vision.
Cool. Yep, so far standard, bar the Erinyes, who has true sight.
Yep, magical resistance. The devil has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. A pretty solid thing to have, but once again, a standard affair to the devils for most of
Yes.
them anyway, that we have done
Indeed.
so far. And he has some actions. He has a multi-attack. The devil makes 3 melee attacks, 2 with its fork, 1 with its tail. It can use Hurl Flame in place of any melee attack.
Ooh.
So he has a fork attack with his 2-tined fork that he has. He has melee weapon attack plus 10 to hit, reach 10 feet, 1 target, hit 15, or 2d8 plus 6 piercing damage. So
Nice.
pretty solid. He is a large creature, so he's using a large fork, so that would be 2d8s plus 6. That kind of makes sense there. Tail, weapon attack, plus 10 to hit, reach 10 feet, 1 target, 10, 1d8 plus 6 piercing damage if the target is a creature other than an undead or construct. It must succeed on a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or lose 10 or 3d6 hit points at the start of each of its turns due to an infernal wound. Each time the devil hits the wounded target with its attack, the damage dealt by the wound increases by 10, 3d6.
Oh, shit.
Any creature can take an action to staunch the wound with a successful DC 12 Wisdom or Medicine check. The wound also closes if the target receives magical healing.
Okay.
That's cool. That's very cool. And a Hurl Flame ranged spell attack plus 7, range 150 feet. 1 target hit 14 or 4d6 fire damage. If the target is a flammable object if the target is a flammable object that isn't being worn or carried, it also catches fire.
Cool.
So he has a couple of things in his tool belt there.
It really does.
Tim, what do you think of the stat block? What do you think of this guy?
I think that is very consistent with a greater demon, like a higher level.
Greater Devil.
Oh my god, Tim. Fucking hell. A greater devil.
Whenever you say demon, just think of a devil looking at you and saying, "What the hell, man?"
I'm looking at a devil looking at me right now.
Yeah, and he's doing like the upside down devil horns.
Yeah,
he does it up if he's saying, "Yeah, man, you're cool," but down for like no, kind of like a metal Roman emperor, I guess, in a Colosseum.
Yeah. Heavy metal Roman emperor. Nice.
I was gonna say, or he's halfway through, like we caught him like part way of him just doing the devil horns up and down.
Oh, yeah.
And that picture is just taken when it's down. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Continue.
They caught him. They caught him unawares.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's super cool. I like it a lot. He has, with the reach of 10 feet, I think is always a handy little thing to use on a higher level, because that way they can do the kind of hit and run idea where they just fly in out of the range of an opportunity attack,
Yeah.
spike them, and then bugger off without taking an opportunity attack. And that tail being 10 foot is actually surprising to me. I would have thought that would have been 5 feet, since it's pretty intense. Because he makes 3 melee attacks, 2 with the fork and 1 with the tail. But even so, that's like a potential of 40 damage in a single hit.
Yeah, he's a strong boy.
And then potentially 10 more on preceding rounds.
Yeah.
So, oh man, and I love like cumulative damage due to like bleeds. Like I did it with my zombies when Kieran was falling in my campaign.
That's a city for people who don't know.
Oh yeah, that was a capital city in my world. And if somebody died from damage taken by those zombies, they would have become zombified. So I had contingencies for like zombie outbreak in case something like that happened. Like in the story that I have written, there is a mechanic to kind of undo everything, but also if if the party doesn't feel like that's the right thing to do, and they refuse this gift from the gods, essentially, I have contingency plans for like zombie outbreak in the city, and like then it becomes like a containment and like destroy the virus kind of thing. But anyway, sorry, I got a little off track there. But yeah, the cumulative damage stuff is always like super cool because it's an infernal wound and it's going to keep bleeding because of this thing. It's like if you use the silvered weapons on him, he takes more damage, whereas because he is this magical, ancient horror of a creature, this devil, he has this magical, poisonous attack that he does, and it's super, super cool. I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it would definitely like scare your players a bit. If you get this on one person, then they'll be like, what is this? This is scary. Then it's if at least one person, that kind of thing is always cool. It can level the playing field a bit. It can kind of make him seem he's supposed to be a greater devil, so make him seem a bit stronger than the rest of the smaller guys, you know?
Yeah.
And he has a bigger fly speed than walking speed, so he will be in the air most of the time. So he would be flying around, hurling fireballs at you, and not literal fireballs in D&D sense, but like, not the spell fireball, but a literal fireball, yes. But
just throwing fire around.
Throwing fire around, poking you, tickling you with his fork, and hitting you with his tail, his bad tail. So
bad news.
So this guy, so far, looking at the stat block, a standard devil, but with some interesting abilities to throw in there.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite stat blocks so far that we've done is a basic enough monster with like a couple things they can do, a couple of small things that you'll definitely use in the encounter. And that's this guy. So, pretty cool stat block. 178 hit points for, let's see, a level 11. Not too far, not too out of the ordinary thing.
That's about what I'd say a barbarian might be on if they went really heavy on the Constitution.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say at about level 11, they would be up into the hundreds with the higher level guys, or the higher Constitution boys, or near it at least.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking back to my fighter at that level, and I'd say I would in one turn do a crap ton of damage in one turn. when you're a high level fighter, then you're doing that. If you're a wizard, you can do a lot of damage too. So
yeah,
this guy seems doesn't seem too tough when it comes to that.
But he has the magical resistances, and he has his resistance to the piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning from non-magical attacks. Not made of silvered weapons, but like he's a hardy boy. He's going to definitely take a good chunk of work to put him down, which I think is cool. And his walking speed being slower than a standard 30 foot, it's 20 foot as I said earlier, doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, because in the image he has these digigrade legs which look pretty damn powerful, and classically something with digigrade legs has a very powerful sprint.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me that they've done that, and they're kind of depowering him even.
I think it's just a character design thing. They just wanted to draw something cool, maybe.
Even the devils in classical stuff have the goat legs, like the satyr legs, or like just the bottom half of a goat with those digigrade legs. So it's inconsistent. It's consistent with the imagery classically, but maybe you're right. Maybe that is just like somebody thought, make a devil and put it in D&D. And they just did that.
I know in looking at the Forgotten Realms wiki, the picture of the first edition one just has regular feet, and it looks kind of weird. It just looks kind of strange to me, just having regular people feet on this devil. It's a bit gross, to be honest.
Maybe with this image, we're expected to understand that he stands flat on that whole bottom section of his foot, so he just has enormous clown feet, and that's why he can't move very quickly. He walks like a normal person with his knees, but he just has these flappy, slappy feet that just walk around.
That's a fantastic image to put into our listeners'
Thank you.
heads. That's an excellent image.
This frightful devil comes coursing over the top of a hill and then lands in front of you, and then just kind of like awkwardly like slaps his feet around to come at you.
You hear the slapping of wet feet upon stone.
The horrifying.
For a little bit of context, that's I think a great meme character. If anyone's played Horde of the Dragon Queen. Definitely in our circle of D&D friends, we have a meme for Farblex Spattergoo, the Bullywug shaman leader guy, and we always have this kind of running joke that he'll return someday, even though he's a very like stupid, inconsequential villain. But we always have like Stephen Brady, friend of the podcast, always describes it as you hear the slapping of wet feet upon stone. Like, oh, it's him.
It's him. We know it immediately.
Yeah,
so familiar.
It's great. Yeah. Anyway, great. Let's move on to the next part.
Let's get to ring that dessert bell, if there is one.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Nice.
Nice. Gonna pour myself another cup of coffee here.
Sure.
I have my little French press right next to me.
Oh.
I only have a small drop here, but it's enough to get me through the show.
Indeed.
Okay, welcome to this part of the show.
Part 3.
Part 3, Matrix Room.
Yeah.
How we seeing with the Matrix Room, Tim? It's a blank room, empty, nothing, no terrain. It's just this Horned Devil versus 4, like a fighter, wizard, cleric, and I don't know. We'll go rogue.
Ooh.
Sure.
Let's go rogue and go with a rogue.
We'll go rogue. Level 11.
Yeah.
Against this guy.
I think.
How's the fight going to go?
I think it's going to go. I mean, it's obviously going to go in the favor of the party because I think the challenge rating system is like, this will be a challenge, but, won't be too much of a challenge for a level 11 team. But I think it'll be a fun fight. I think that he has the distance with his hurl flame to 150 feet, so he could just stand back and just throw his hurl flame because he can replace all 3 of his attacks with, in place of any melee attack. Okay, so he can use hurl flame once per turn? That might be a little bit of a technical thing.
It says the devil makes 3 melee attacks, 2 with its fork and 1 with its tail. It can hurl flame in place of any melee attack. So
you could just chuck 3 flames?
Yeah, it says any melee attack.
That's probably how I'd play it, because ultimately that is the same, around about the same amount of damage. Like if you hit the average damage with the whole thing, it's about 50 damage within like the person getting their turnaround, and then if you throw 3 hurl flames, that's going to be 42 damage, which is fine. That's like very similar. So I would probably say that that's what they were going for, so that you can just have your Horned Devil play the distant game and then just keep hooking fireballs.
Yeah.
Although he has no regenerative abilities, as most of them don't, so he'd eventually get worn down, I think, before the rest of the party did, especially if they had a cleric or some kind of healer.
Yeah, and you can figure out a way to get your fighter up to his level by, I don't know, throwing him or something, maybe. Is there a way to do that?
Catapult. Yeah, the wizard.
Well, I don't think that works on people, but
I'll
maybe
make it
like hop on a rock and then hit the rock with a catapult and then
hit it with a catapult.
This is kind of and then just make the fighter fly up on the rock and
just hope
this is
for
the
the
point
best.
to show this is the point to show if Daniel was here, he'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's what Daniel does. He shoots down our incredible ideas. But you're not here today, Daniel, so it's all shit
our
all the
amazing
time.
ideas, our amazing, fantastic ideas, and you know what? He's always trying to get down. When we're talking absolute shite, he's just like, you know what? Stop, guys. That's just stupid.
No, Daniel never does that. He absolutely joins in.
Yeah, he does. That's true.
Yeah, we love Daniel, and we miss him in this episode. We see him frequently, but, he's not here today, so we get to talk shit about him.
Yeah, he's not. No, I don't think that's... guys, we actually love him. Don't worry, all right? We're not talking shit about him.
Yeah, so I think this guy would be a solid brawl with a level 11 team. I think that's going to be a good little fight. It'll be interesting with having to deal with the flames and trying to work around what you currently have, because I think that like if you have like a ranger and a wizard and a fighter archer, although the fighters always tend to have a bow with them, and by level 11 I'd imagine they would have some form of magical bow.
Maybe.
So yeah, at level 11 you're probably going to be relatively well kitted out. You're almost certainly going to have magical weapons, so you're not going to have to worry about the half damage, the resistance. But Yeah, I think it'll still be a bit of fun. I think he's most useful in a kind of larger context where he's kind of either a general or like a go-between or like a gopher for the archdevils again, because I like that idea.
Yeah.
With the devils that they send agents into the plane to do their thing. But yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's a cool idea for like a lieutenant for like your big bad, kind of like a mini boss kind of guy who's tough and he's mean, but he's not the main baddie in your archdevil adventure that you're doing. You know, if you get me?
Yeah, because like with an adventure like that, for this guy to be a sub boss or like a mini boss would be like you're running a pretty high level campaign at that point. So
Yeah.
I think it would be like fighting this guy is iconic, obviously, because of the visuals of like everybody knows what a devil looks like, and this is basically that. Preparing your team for dealing with something bigger could be even more frightening.
Yeah.
Is the Pit Fiend here? Yeah, we still have the Pit Fiend to get to, who's a much more horrifying version of a horned winged devil thing.
Yeah. You'll be level 20, you'll be chucking galaxies and black holes at each other. Like, you know, it's kind of
Galaxy bars and Mars bars. Are we chucking chocolate at each other? What chocolate?
Nice. We are not sponsored by Mars or Galaxy or
vitamin
any
water.
chocolate company. Or vitamin water. Yeah. We are not sponsored by anybody.
No.
All right, just to let you know.
If you feel like sponsoring us, get in touch.
I would simultaneously like a Mars bar, but also hate a Mars bar right now.
Yeah.
So is that, I can say that right now.
Have you ever microwaved a Mars bar?
No, I haven't.
It's an interesting experience.
I feel like it just melt.
It is a little bit melty,
it's
but
sticky
it's a different experience somehow. It's like the melty chocolate just kind of melting in with everything. Like put it in for like 10 seconds and it's an entirely different experience from eating a normal Mars bar. Anyway.
Well, so deep.
Horned devils.
Okay, so he might be a lieutenant for the bag. He might be a mini boss for like a high level devil campaign, which honestly I've always wanted to do something like that where I kind of just, I kind of wanted to be like strong characters because I've been playing like Devil May Cry recently and like Bayonetta and very fun games, kind of character action games, but they are characters who are, super strong and don't give a shit about the high level devils, I guess. And I'm like always been like, what if I did like a D&D campaign where it's just like high level overpowered characters and just kind of going through these huge threats as as in the same attitude as a regular D&D party, like just for a bit of fun, just for
like for a one shot or something.
Yeah, for one shot or for like a small campaign, just for like a different style of playing, because we all like our
grassroots movements, from the ground up, building your character and having arcs. But I don't think anybody, I'd say a solid 95% of people do not get above like level 10. I'd say is a solid number, unless they're following like actual guides to get through. It's very hard to put together a campaign that'll guide you all the way through to like very high level campaign.
Also, it's just a big investment.
Like I love putting work into my world because I have it so that some threads can get that far, but I like just expanding it further and further into like other directions that we could go with it, because every time I sit down to write with it, I come up with some weird new cool ideas just by opening the monster manual and looking at something and looking at its origins online and then building something around that and just working with the material that I'm presented with, which is what we're helping you guys do. So hit like and subscribe, comment down below.
We are? I thought we were just talking.
No.
Talking shite. Okay, cool. So, Tim, any ideas for the Horned Devil? Do you have anything in your head cooking up?
Yeah, I was going to say I would probably use him as like a gopher, like a guy who just goes and does specific tasks for the archdevils, and he probably has like some item, like he'll be gifted an item by the archdevil that allows him to pass like some kind of planar shift thing that lets him go to and from other planes once a day or something, so that like if he does arrive and you see him, he's not just going to blink out of existence. Like as soon as he sees he's in trouble, he has to at least wait a day. Maybe I'd make it a week, because that's a bit more enticing and like more interesting, because if a devil like this had the ability to just appear and disappear at will, he'd be elusive, but he'd be too elusive, I think. Like you'd never be able to pin him down. So giving him a weekly plane shift where he's allowed to move to and from
the hells.
The nine hells. Yeah. If he could shift
9 hells in myself and Daniel's setting, we called judgment.
Oh yeah. That's a cool idea. I remember hearing you guys talk about that. Judgment.
Yeah.
Justice. And yeah, I'd say just having him be the errand boy, essentially. I mean, he is probably also very useful as a general and kind of iconic again as the head of a centurion. He'd be a centurion, essentially, I'd say, in a larger army context where his tasks that he fulfilled on the planes of normality. What is the word again? On the
planes of existence.
The planes of existence, yeah, the material plane.
Material plane.
Yeah.
Planes existence is everything, sorry.
once he's on the material plane and he does all his things, maybe once all of his stuff comes to fruition, then there's a more broad kind of army context to the way that he's presented. So his evolution would probably be from the errand boy to from the perspective of the party, he would be the errand boy, but when he goes back to the nine hells, he would probably again be sitting atop some palanth. Because he's a greater demon. He's a big lad. Like
devil.
God, fuck, shit. It's devil. He's a big bad devil. And above him is the archdevils, and on par with him is the Erinyes and the Ice Devil, and I think the Pit Fiend. No, the Pit Fiend is something else. I think,
Pit Fiend
entirely.
is super powerful.
Super greater demon. The greatest demon.
Yeah.
Devil. God, Jesus, Tim. But yeah, I think that's definitely how he would be used in my contexts. So giving him the presentation as one thing and then letting it spin into something else if the campaign gets that far ahead.
Cool.
What about you?
I have this idea in my head of playing up into his laziness, and I actually like the idea of him being a patron for a fiend patron for a warlock. For I don't think this is for fighting or using him to fight, but more for how you put him into your world. I like him being a patron because in that way you don't have to worry about him ever having to fix anything for your warlock. He's just a lazy horned devil who just lives in the material plane, and he's just never wants to do anything and never he's just a super lazy devil, and I like kind of going into that. Because horned devils are supposed to be lazy, and maybe sometimes he just gets orders every once in a while from his higher ups, I guess, and he's like, oh, I have to do this, and then he goes off and does it. But then most of the time he just hangs out in the material plane, on top of in his lair, I guess,
wearing tracksuits and just kind of kicking back and watching Netflix.
Kicking back, watching Netflix, just doing stuff like that. And I like that idea. And maybe because he's lazy, maybe you can kind of go with something similar to with your guys' idea with the Erinyes last time. Maybe he's just hanging out in a town, and he's super lazy, so he's just I'm gonna take over this town. That's all I want to do right now. And then he's this powerful guy who's leading, who's ruling over this town. And you're you go in there, he's this guy. He's a devil. He's a bit evil and a bit scary, but don't get in his way. He'll kill you. But he doesn't seem to be too bad for the town. And then you have to maybe figure out how to get rid of him.
Yeah, he could definitely just brute force his way into any kind of town. Probably if he finds his way to the material plane and then just stumbles across a town that he takes a fancy to, or just he likes the look of a tower or something, he'll just sit there and he'll just judge people below, or he'll just be a de facto ruler, essentially, so that he can impose his will on these people because he's going to be lazy, he's going to make them do his thing, or he's going to kill them. And then he can take prisoners and shit and be oh, if you're not going to do what I tell you to and you don't fear death, maybe your wife does, or maybe your son does, or you got any family for me that I can throw at you? His greatest weakness is hermits.
Yeah. Damn it. What am I supposed to do now?
Oh, no. A party of hermits has entered town.
Well, that's with every D&D party. Yep. It's just no, my entire family is dead, and my friends are all dead. So you can't defeat me. You can't defeat me, wizard.
Yeah, I think that patron idea would be kind of cool as well, because with the laziness thing, if he gets orders from the Archdevil, he could just fob them off to his little guys, to his little patronuses, whatever the opposite to a patron is. A Patreon? Let's call it a Patreon.
Subscribe to the Horn Devil's Patreon, guys. And let's see. We have any more ideas for him? Any kind of like adventure ideas? Something that we haven't really touched upon yet.
I don't know, because the devils are consistent with each other and they tend to complement each other pretty well. Like, I think this guy obviously would do well solo wise, and as you said, he'd do well as a patron, and I think he would also do well as like a lieutenant, as you said.
Yeah.
So like they're very broadly useful in any kind of context almost. So you could just build any kind of campaign you wanted. Like that campaign you said about, similar to the Erinyes one, that would be a really cool beat that you could use, or you could have them in the context of a greater devil thing, like with my idea. They're very, very broadly useful as just a general evil bad guy, I think.
He also make a pretty cool unlikely ally. As I kind of we touched upon in the start, where he might not follow his orders. Well, he follows his orders exactly, so he might not always like get in the way of your adventuring party. So he might be sometimes an ally to your cause, like for like its own, if it like benefits him at all. You know, kind of like a enemy of my enemy kind of situation.
Maybe finding a way to make your plans align with a potential like archdevil plot. Maybe your characters are trying to clear an old abandoned village of some like sun sprites or something, and you go in and you're fighting them, and then this horned devil comes along and he's been watching you and he just lets you do the whole job, and he's like, cool, thanks for all that. Here's something fancy. You can have one of my scales, or you can, I don't know. He's just going to reward them for doing his job for him because he wants to be lazy.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, that was a big devil. Maybe, is something wrong now?
Yeah, maybe he will, like, he actually, like, maybe if you help him, because he's so lazy, if you actually do a lot of stuff for him, he might help you out at some point. Like, maybe there's like a dragon he's a really big bad around your lands, and he's just like, all right, I'll help you out with it this time. And then he would, fly you there or something, or help you in the fight or something like that. I think you make a very cool, unlikely ally.
I agree.
So there's lots of ways you can do that. Flavor wise and just kind of mechanically, he's just a devilly devil guy. He's not doesn't have too many gimmicks to him except for the tail attack, which would be a very good idea for a monster hunter. This monster would be making some sort of dagger out of his tail venom, or his the blade or whatever it is that's on his tail, to make a magical like bad dagger that maybe a villain, a big bad, has.
Okay,
he can use that, and then because these items like that, you kind of don't want to.
You don't want to throw them too far around. You don't want to give them to everyone.
Yeah, you don't want to give them to like your party at first anyway. Give them to like a villain, and then when they defeat that villain, they get the cool dagger after that. Classic. Maybe. Or if they defeat the horned devil and they want to make something out of the tail, then let them do that too. That's,
chop it off.
That's kind of chop it off, make a cool hat.
Dice up the rest of them, throw some vegetables into a stock pot, and you have yourself a delicious devil stew.
Here's one I made earlier.
Or again, the classic, he kind of fizzles away and leaves some part of him behind. Maybe if you wanted to have some fun with canon with regards to like monster hunting, maybe the wings are famous of the horned devil, but maybe they don't like necessarily belong to the creature. Maybe they were like tacked on to the type, so that when they fizzle away, certain parts of them are just like stuck onto this creature to like make them a bit more powerful or more intimidating looking, or give them different things. Like maybe he used to be just this plain Jane kind of devil-ish guy. Maybe he used to be like an imp or something, and then an archdevil like blessed him with these massive horns and this epic tail and these brilliant bat wings, and gave him a nice fork to eat his dinner with. And like when you defeat him, his corporeal body, like his original body, decays, but he leaves the iconic stuff behind. Like maybe the wings or the tail or the horn or different parts of him. I think that would be cool.
Cool.
If you wanted to like lure the shit out of it.
Yeah, I have a cool encounter idea.
But yeah.
Of one horned devil with a big fork, another horned devil with a big knife, and you guys are on like a plate, maybe a giant plate.
Nice.
And maybe he's like trying to feed you to a bigger devil. That's like, and they're just trying to like poke you with the knife and fork, and you're like, get that dinner.
The fork guy
cool
holds you
idea.
down, and then the knife guy tries to cut you. Like you're grappled by the fork, and then the knife does extra damage if you've been grappled.
I know we had an idea with the demons of like a very, I think one of the very gluttonous demons would be, I forgot which one it was. It was in one of the episodes though, where I want to do like a dinner encounter where they cook up humans and they're trying to make a big kind of feast and party out of it.
I think it was a Nalfeshni.
Nalfeshni.
Yeah.
Nalfeshni. Which one was that again?
The weird big pig boys. The pigs
Yes,
with wings.
that's it. That pig, when pigs fly. But yeah, just kind of like trying to cook you up, and there's like you're in like a kind of a banquet hall where they're trying to throw all the humans into a little big pot, but seeing as these guys are devils, they wouldn't fit in that exact kind of encounter. But it would be fun to have a knife and fork encounter with some horned devils. Try that one out.
Yeah, you can do what you want with these boys. That's what they're here for, so that we can experiment and have fun and talk about them. Share our thoughts.
Sit down and have a chat.
And have a good time.
Talk about the devils and the demons.
Or you're going to sit down and have the devils and the demons talk with our audience?
Yeah, exactly.
So
They're
when
different.
when a devil and a demon love each other very much,
It's weird. It's
very weird. It should make it stop.
Any final comments on this guy? Any?
I think that the devils in general would be a good like worldly evil to deal with. Not specific to the horned devil anymore. I think that they would just be the devils are a handy little like giant epic evil. Like if you wanted to have a campaign where half of the map is taken by devils and the other half is taken by like the survivors of some great apocalypse that happened. That could be cool. That's my thought. Also, I wish I had abs like the horned devil.
I think we all do. I think everyone wishes they had abs like the horned devil.
Oh no, I'm coveting things that aren't mine. The devils are having an influence on me. Oh no.
Nice one. Let's end it there.
Let's do it.
I think we had a couple ideas there. I hope so.
I remember recording about an hour's worth of stuff just now. So thank you all very much for tuning in and listening again to Creature Club. Sorry, did you have any final thoughts?
No.
Okay.
Just continue, Tim. You know, you don't want to listen to me anymore.
No,
just
that's
end the
cool.
show.
Yeah.
That's what you have the power to just end the show when you want to and just.
I'm not going to read into this at all. I just presume you're just presenting these as facts. Yes. You can find us on creatureclubpodcast.com, our website, or you can find us on Spotify, which has now launched its full-blown version of the podcasts app, which is kind of cool. We haven't explored too much into that yet, but I think I certainly want to look into what else we can find. You can find us on all of your podcasting apps, all the good ones, on Stitcher, and I think we're on Player FM even, and like all those weird distant ones, which I will not judge.
Every once in a while, I just kind of check what ones we're on, and we seem to be on pretty much everything.
Yeah, basically everything.
Everything that seems to take an RSS feed and put it on the website. And if it has podcasts, then we're there. I think. And if we're not, let us know. If we're not on the one that you usually listen to, then please let us know, and we'll try our best to go on it.
If you can't listen to us, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, as in maybe if you're like, I rather use this app, but they're only on Spotify, so I have Spotify for that. But maybe if you want us to move over, then let us know.
Yeah, we can migrate whatever we need to, or just submit our RSS feed to them, and we could just throw it on up there.
Yeah.
If you want to contact us with regards any of that stuff, or if you want to throw some homebrew at us, which we always very gratefully accept, and I think we're planning on coming up with an episode 3 relatively soon. So send in your stuff, and it might pop up there.
Yeah, we have enough for another episode, I think.
Excellent.
We have more after that, but we're always looking for more.
Yay.
We want to do more episodes. We want to do episodes until the end of days. So keep giving us homebrew if you wish.
And if you want to get in contact with us in general, you can use the contact us form on the Creature Club website, or you can send an email directly to us at creatureclubpodcast@gmail.com. creatureclubpodcast@gmail.com. We are also...
That's creatureclubpodcast@gmail.com.
That's creatureclubpodcast@gmail.com. Creature.
What is it?
Creature Club Podcast.
creatureclubpodcast@gmail.com. Creature.
gmail.com.
That's what it is, the full one.
Oh, fuck.
Creature.
Creature@club.com/r/.
Creature.com. Check us out.
We are also on Twitter at Creature Club Pod. I think that's probably where we most frequently interact with anyone who decides to interact with us.
Yeah, Twitter is terrible. So if you can send us messages on Twitter, that'll make our day much better, especially our Twitter day much better. So, but it's just a terrible place where terrible news is always going around. So if we get some of you nice people sending us messages saying, "Hey guys, like Creature Club," then that'll make our day so much better.
Just brighten
but only
up our
if you
little
want to.
timelines. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
we always appreciate you. Well, we've been
getting.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that we've been getting a couple messages from some listeners, and they've been all very nice. So thank you so much for everyone. If there's been any new listeners or long-time listeners, like new messengers, then thank you so much, everybody, for sending us in those messages. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, you think so? You think so, Tim?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry.
I'm
think
sorry.
so?
You think so? I didn't mean to sound so
aggressive.
so antagonizing there. Oh, you really think so? All right.
Oh, cool. Hey, everyone. Tim thinks we're done. What a fucking loser, am I right?
This is when the cracks seem to show now of our, it's just like on air we're all happy-go-lucky to each other, but off air we're just like, I fucking hate you, man.
Yeah, just making sure you know.
I'm just doing this for the fans, man.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're friends. We're the best of friends.
Best of friends.
Best friends forever until we become big and famous and social network style. We we try to sue each other.
We try to buy each other out of the company and then sue each other.
That's
and then
that won't happen for
rights.
another. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That'll be a fun scandal on on the internet. You'll read all about it when that year comes. But right now, we're the best of friends. So
yeah,
woo! What a very what a good way to end the show, I guess.
Absolutely, I agree.
Our hypothetical situation where we hate each other.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's a good spot to end it. Come back, Daniel. We're lost without you.
We are, yeah. I just remembered now the last episode where you didn't know how to end it without me.
Yeah.
So just all the alternatives. They were very funny.
Yeah, cool.
It's like discount Creature Club. Like you must remain at a reasonable temperature.
Yeah, we don't know how to end it without you, and we don't know how to do the podcast without Daniel.
Yeah. You really need all three of us on the show because like one person, I end the show. That's kind of my thing I do on the show, and Daniel keeps it going. And Tim, you got all the facts, so that's why you need all three of us. Yeah, that's why you need all three of us. Me and my important job of ending the show. Anyway, we've been trying to end the show for so long now, and we just can't. We've been stuck in this purgatory, this podcast purgatory, where it's we've just been talking, and we don't want to end it exactly.
I'll probably like fast forward this section, like chop it and then put it to like double speed or something.
If you so wish.
I may.
Or we can just end it now like a regular sane person.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Next time will be another episode of something. I have been Mikey.
I have been Tim.
Stay cool. Oh. I won't. I'm sorry. I will do that song. I will not do that song. I was about to do it there, and I'm like, I'm not bothered. I'm sorry.
I so would have tried very hard to make some accompaniment for you.
Yeah. Listen to this show, guys. The hostess don't give a shit. Anyway.